Here are 5 ways you can help combat stigma and discrimination as we fight against coronavirus COVID-19. 1. Educate your friends and family that COVID-19 is not specific to any race, nationality, or skin color. 2. Do not associate migrants with the virus. In many contexts, migrants are healthy and key players in nation building. 3. Remind others that discrimination may lead people to hide their symptoms rather than seek treatment. This puts everyone else at risk. 4. Be kind, considerate, and helpful to others in these difficult times. 5. If you know anyone experiencing symptoms, encourage them to dial 1025 for free.
Bunda lulolti isi fa mako no fo isi tanka kaja fo ning fatan fansola pour que ñing corona jangaro kele bunda folo ela ka fuñol ni la dimbayal kala mutandi ko ñing corona jangaro bu ka jibe e musi jumalati warante ibada banku jumaleto walla iboro la kuloro mu kurola jumalati bunda fulanjang ikanaje ko tamalal dam male ka te ñing corona jangaro soto fanna jama ya itandi le ko ñin tamalal jama jaato kende yatale andum ke kataku jamale ke banku do ko kono bunda sabanjam mol hakilo bulandi ko ño kaja fo ning fatam fanso satin nanni nole fam fo modol sila kurango mabo puli kanata jaaroro la andum ñin si mobe dundi no mantoro kono le bunda nani njam al nga bala fa ñoye nga ñoma koy bunda lulu njam nie molo meye ate ñun corona kurang la mandar go sodo a foye 1025 commande andum ite fen jola
ɗiɗo ko laawi joyɗi wawete rewde hara en aybinani en bonani fi haɓagol coronavirus ko adi kon jangine e ɓeygure mon e weldiɓe mon hara on darani leñol ma koddigagu ko ɗimmi kon wata on ɓaɗoɗe kawtal leydi men jogiiɓe nde nawnare a wiyaka non kawtal leydi be ko jogiiɓe nawnare nden tun ko tammiti kon aybingol jogiiɓe nde nawnare waɗay ha en wawata andude goɗɗo goo sino jogii sabu natima waɗay ha ɓe hersira te ɗum no bonani en enen fof naya ɓunɗum tambitoɗe moƴƴe andite ɗum koko feƴƴata joya ɓunɗum si tawi no woodi mo sikkitiɗon walla anduɗon jogiiɗo nde nawnare wata on aame nodde 1025 no yawiri
nañu booloo xeex xaajaaleeg xeet yi di xew ci jamono gi coronavirus xewee juróomi anam yiñ mun a jëfandoo mooy benn nañuy jàngal suñuy xarit ak jaboot yi ne coronavirus amut xaajaaleeg seen ñaar bu ñu tiiñal gan yi ak am di jaama réew mi ndaxte ci lu bari gan yi am nañ wérgu yaram te bokk nañ ci dooleel koom-koomi réew mi ñett nañu fàttali suñ boppa xaajaale yi mun naa tax képp ku am màndarga jàngoro gi du feeñal boppam wala sàkku ndimbal te loolu mun naa indil ñëpp loraange ñeent nañu laabiir te ubbi suñu xol yi ci bépp doomu aadama ci jamono tolof-tolof yi juróom képp kuñ xam kuy wone màndarga yi wala am jàngoro gi nañ leen ñaax ñu woote ci 1025 te doo fay dara
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Viewers of Online. Welcome to another edition of our daily COVID-19 Straight Talk with Sulayman bin Suwareh. I'm your host, Ahmed Manjang. I'm a microbiologist by training, medical and molecular microbiologist by training. So basically, even when everybody think COVID will never arrive in Gambia, I was very confident that it's going to come, unfortunately, because all the signs of pandemic, how it takes around us, and Gambia was never ready. And this was badly exposed, when the numbers start stacking up. But that's not the only thing we are here today. We are reviewing the major talking point of the past week, and there is no better person to lead us into that than Sulayman bin Suwareh. Ben, welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with you.
Thank you very much, Ahmad, for having me here again, giving me the privilege to come onto your platform to discuss these very important issues. Just to let the viewers know, or the listeners know, that we are covering this on Fatu Radio as well, under the Gambia Forward program. Thank you, Ahmad.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ben, for amplifying our voices. As usual, I will give a brief update about COVID-19 internationally and also regionally, and also from the Gambia. Then we will continue with our discussion. And inshallah, today we should discuss about Gambia seeking help from Senegal, and the Senegalese who are in the Gambia. And also, I will call it that for Pable Moda, converting Selekunda General Hospital to the COVID treatment center. Then we will discuss, if time allows us, it's only 1 hour, does the events in Lebanon and also the heroic by our own niece, Lovett Jallo, and Ben will delve into that. But before then, I'll give you the update about COVID-19. Guys, as you are all aware, COVID is like it's been here with us for years, but COVID only announced its arrival in December 2019 in Wuhan province in China. This virus is established, it originated from a bat, but still there is a missing link. That's the intermediary host where human caught it from. Some still believe we caught it directly from the bat. This is a very popular delicacy around that part of the world, where they are fond of eating bats and other exotic wild animals. Since this pandemic first announced itself, so far 24,485, 143 people got COVID-19. Out of that, 832,541 died as a result of COVID-19 infections. But the good part is 16,982,979 people so far recovered from COVID infections. So that's a clear indication COVID is not a death sentence. So if you think you are exposed, please take time and effort to make sure you are tested. Any kind of illness, if you discover it early, if you are diagnosed early, the treatment or the management is easier. As we know, COVID still have no definite treatment regimen, but they can help to manage it and help your immune system to fight it off. So, and also this recovered population will form a reservoir for understanding of COVID-19, how it infects, how it kills us, and how we can build immunity against it. And if we build immunity against it, how long that will last. That will help us in our vaccine design and also other treatment options like Convulsion Plasma, which US currently are touting to use it, even though their chief immunologist, Anthony Fauci, is not very convinced because there is not much research evidence to support using convalescent plasma. Convulsion plasma is what is called some people who recovered from COVID-19. If you take their blood, you spin it, you take the liquid components and transfuse it into people who are currently infected with COVID-19, they should technically recover because in their plasma, there is this specially designed protein called immunoglobulins. These immunoglobulins are like the body soldiers that will go specifically to attack say in the case of COVID and mop up COVID in the blood of those who are infected. So it's very, very important. Currently, 6,669,662 are currently infected with COVID-19. And out of that, 99% of currently infected in mild condition, that's equal to 6,608,058 people. And these mild population are the asymptomatic ones, those who are tested and confirmed because they were exposed to COVID positives. Unfortunately, in the Gambia, right now, they are not doing trace. They are not tracing the contacts. And even when people are tested positive and they turn out to be asymptomatic, they tell them to go home and self-isolate. Guys, this is a disaster waiting to happen. How can anybody self-isolate effectively in an average household in the Gambia? Yes, in some affluent household it might be possible, but even that is a massive, massive challenge, the way we live together, the way we eat together, the way we drink together, the way we drink our tires. So the most sensible thing our government should do, and they should stick to it, is to isolate all the positives and their contacts. Because if you have a contact in the US, or in fact, that's the WHO policy. If you come in contact with somebody who is COVID positive, you should go and test yourself. But right now, we've seen Gambia is not doing enough tests. In fact, from 26 between 26th and 25th they tested 389 and only 26 yesterday it was only 93. That is 78% reduction in the testing rate. That is too low, you know. And right now Gambia, we have over 2,000 COVID cases, but yesterday from the yesterday data, in fact we have 2,743. And could you imagine, out of that, only 31 are under quarantine. The rest are asked to go and self-isolate in their homes, effectively telling them to go and infect their family members and loved ones. So currently 61,565 people critically ill by COVID-19. And these are the group that need hospitalization, and most of the time intensive care units, because what COVID does, it damages the inner lining of your lungs. And as a result, the lungs, your immune system will mount a massive attack to get rid of the virus. So most of these kind of attack are cytokines. Cytokines are chemicals, immunological chemicals that, if they are overproduced, can overwhelm the patient itself. That's what they call cytokine storm. So most people died because their body overreaction to the virus. That's actually killed them. But again, as a result of that, liquid accumulate in your lungs, and we know we cannot extract oxygen from liquid. Only fish can do that. So as liquid accumulates in your lungs, your lung capacity goes down. So that's why they go to hospital. They fit them with ventilators and other mechanical devices that will force saturated oxygen into their system to help them maintain healthy level of oxygen in their system. Because as long as the oxygen level goes below 75% per molecule in your system, your other vital organs like your kidney, your heart, they struggle. They start dying off because they need constant supply of oxygen, including your brain. So this is how COVID kills people. Effectively, it drowns you. Coming to the figures, past 24 hours, the total of 160,602 new cases across the world and 3,627 new deaths as a result of COVID infection. So basically now I'm going to give you, before I hand over to Ben, and this is my favorite part because this is what vindicated me. Unfortunately, nobody can celebrate if you are vindicated while people are dying. But these countries which are surrounding the Gambia, when their numbers are present, they are going up, and Gambia seems to be steady. I know once Senegal relax their internal measures, control measures, Gambia is going to have a spike because it's only Senegal that can control those borders. If they control movement of their people internally, very few people can slip in. But once Senegal relax their internal control measures, people start flooding in from both sides of the border, and as a result we start having numbers. And unfortunately, even when numbers are going out, I was making those warnings and predictions. Our government thinks, this might not allow, and they decide to go on a spending spree. Vehicles, vehicle accessories. Their internal travel bill alone is out of this world. Quarantine people from coming from hotels, coming from Europe into the hotels of their brothers and their loved ones, and we've seen those expensive hotel bills. Now we have real sick people who got infected. They cannot quarantine them because they siphon all the money. There is actually no fund there. But we'll discuss this in detail. But just to tell you, Ivory Coast so far registered 17,603 cases and 41 new cases past 24 hours. Senegal, 13,186. Their record for the past 24 hours are not yet in. And Guinea-Conakry so far recorded 9,167. Mali recorded 2,707. Past 24 hours, they recorded only 4. I believe with the commotion in the past week, 2 weeks, I predict you see numbers in Mali also going up because the law and order was broken and nobody can enforce these control measures. Gambia so far 2,743 and past 24 hours 35 new cases. Guinea-Bissau 2,205 and past 24 hours they have 56 new cases. That's a big jump from the past few days. Sierra Leone, 2003 cases so far. They also, their latest record are not yet. Burkina Faso, 1,326 cases. And new cases record also is not yet in. Liberia, so far 1,298. And Mauritania, 6,912. So you can see our neighbors, the numbers are definitely going down. It's only Gambia that numbers are still going up on the opposite side. Thank you, Marta Khan. Welcome to Gunyu TV Online. Then,
hello, Ahmed.
You hear the numbers and you heard the introductions. Senegalese, 2 weeks ago, I broke this news on my timeline. Gambia, Senegal should just walk in and come and help. I was so insulted by the I can say the Yellow Defense League, why I will call for Senegal to come and help. And after a few days, there was this newspaper article which again I said the cutout that Mauritania and Gambia are seeking help from Senegal. Again, this time is the External Affairs Minister or the Foreign Minister, Tankara, came in and said, no, that's not true. But Ben, last week, we've seen the Senegalese, this week in fact in the Gambia, and one of the issues you really investigated and you deliberated on, and we discussed it also on a couple of times, Ndemban Clinic. And Ndemban Clinic, we've seen the Senegalese there is in a terrible state. You could imagine. But then we hear the government, they want to convert Serekunda General Hospital to exclusively COVID-19 treatment center, considering the fact that this hospital provides service to 1,040,000 people, because West Coast region is 700,000 inhabitants, KMC 340,000. So Ben, what can you make of this? Senegalese in the Gambia and in Demban and the Serekunda.
Thank you, Ahmad. Thank you, Ahmad, for this important question. Now, let's start from the Senegalese issue. I just want for our Gambians compatriots to remember that the health of Gambians is the interest of the Senegalese.
Yeah.
Peace in Gambia should be the interest of Senegalese. And if we have a pandemic outbreak in the Gambia, that means there's a pandemic outbreak in Senegal. Just as you said, when it was in Senegal, we expect it to get into the Gambia.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong, and that should be even celebrated, that we are collaborating, we are working together, we are exchanging ideas, and we are supporting each other. That should be something we celebrate. But the but is here. What actually is going on in this sense? Is it a collaboration? Is it that government have completely failed and they're trying to put plaster over the cracks? Why did I say this? As you rightly said, the Minister of External Affairs came out to say that they never asked for help. We did, actually. I did. And most Gambians have been saying this. Call out for help. Even Italy, Spain and other countries did call out for help. We did welcome help. But if you, call out for help, that would mean that you are calling out for support. But if you your systems are completely collapsed, you don't expect 3 experts from Senegal to come and fix the situation. And it takes more than that. It takes more than that. I think our problem is the lack of political will. Our problem is incompetency. Our problem is lack of investment in the health sector. Before COVID, and when we had the opportunity and had all these funds to invest into COVID, what did we do? They decided to steal all the money. Literally, that's what they did. They, as you rightly mentioned, they prioritized areas where you have heavy procurement transactions in order to get their kickbacks from allowing people to come into the country to be hosted in hotels. And the government taking care of all that fees at ridiculous sums. It's not, we are not fools to accept that. Hotels can ask for that much to be used as a quarantine center. When you pay almost the same amount or even less in a normal situation, how did they do their negotiations? When they went and spent money on vehicles, when they went and spent money on 10 ambulances, but they never thought about the capacity that should take care of that ambulances. They never think about if the ambulances pick up the patients, where are they going to be taken? This is a complete, total failure of managing the situation. The situation have not been managed at all. Literally, they took the COVID as an opportunity, and we did say that here, to enrich themselves, continue, paying allowances to themselves. We have had this, healthcare workers or the frontline workers, they're not happy. They've not been given what was due to them. But we had allowances paid to mysterious accounts. Up to today, we don't know. The finance minister is not to be seen. It's not seen to explain to the Gambians what actually happened. The House of Parliament that should represent the Gambian people, it's sitting away out of the situation when they should come and ask questions on behalf of the people. Every aspect of the COVID operations have failed. Now Senegal's coming into the frame. Yes, they might get advice, but do we have the right people to seek that advice, to take that advice and utilize it? Do we have the right people, competent leaders, to take and have the political will to do the right thing? This is the question we should ask ourselves. Are they completely honest with us for what is actually happening? When they fail to have contact tracing, how do we expect things to improve? And I am very skeptical and very worried that this government might be cooking the numbers up, and intentionally they are doing that. We knew from the beginning the numbers were not right, but that might have been technical problems, that might have been not intentional, But right now, it seems as something is being done deliberately, just to, for political reasons, because no contact tracing. And as you said, infected people have been sent back, and considering the conditions, our living conditions for the average Gambians, how possible it is that these people can quarantine themselves. These are issues, but compounding that now COVID is affecting Gambians in many aspects. And when we come to the healthcare system again, where they decided to stick Sekoda Hospital, without an alternative for the people to attend, the clinics that meant to attend, now where are those people going to go? Is that a solution? If you are to take, an established, facility, to take it for special, treatment, what about the people who already have other, ailments that they need to be treated in? If not, they will come further. Where are they going to go? That hospital is covering a large catchment area, one of the largest catchment area in the country. This shows the failures we have. What 3 experts from Senegal can do to fix that? It takes more than inviting 3 experts to help us out to do this. We need more, and we need the political will, and we need leadership in order where truth will be told to the people. Timely information will come out. Where if they keep on bringing out stories, which are untrue, found out to be untrue. The issues about the vice president being negative, but she's not seen, about the presence of the finance ministers, about the presence of the Speaker of the House, about the condition of President Barrow. We knew that President Barrow had 2 doctors coming from Senegal. That's a fact. We knew President Barrow's doctor was infected. Why did President Barrow need two doctors from Senegal if he was not COVID positive? Why did he need those doctors? This is the lack of confidence the Gambian people have into the system. Ahmed will come to again in the area of bringing Senegal's experts. Again, this is a failure for this government preparing or governing right. Yes, COVID is something challenging for every country in this world, but the countries that dealt better are countries with good leadership, good governance, countries that have prepared themselves and have taken care of healthcare sector. What have this government done since they came to power? It's gone almost 3 years plus, but we have not seen the registered investment that is needed for the healthcare. And not only that, we have not seen any policy that this government have come out with that would help other sectors, especially the healthcare. And I'll give an example of this. We are talking about 3 Senegalese experts. I'll tell you, we have world-renowned experts, more than 10, not 3, that this Gambia government can rely on. But the Gambia government failure to have a policy, to have a mechanism, to build up an initiative that could tap into the diaspora capitals. We have said this on and on. You cannot just expect people to jump out and act when there are no protocols established. There's no mechanisms to enable those protocols to function. This government deliberately avoided trying to marginalize the diaspora for political reasons, because they didn't want to be held accountable, or they felt threatened that the diaspora would be a competitive partners. It's unfortunate that we should be thinking of celebrating the best of what we have, and to use them in order to deliver for the people. Regardless of that, the Gambian diaspora and Gambian civil society have been working together in all aspects of national development, trying to bring about meaningful change in that country, trying to improve and impact on Gambian people. But that's so much you can do without an enabling environment, without empowerment from government. Now, look at the situation here since COVID. How much have come out from the diaspora? Not in the terms of monetary. Imagine if a mechanism was in place to harness that monetary. Imagine if mechanism in place to take that expertise, the knowledge, in order to impact on that country. Have not happened. And up till today, they never think about the structural issues. They never think about the structural issues. If you don't put in structures, you cannot even find out what capacity needs you have. And in order to seek this capacity, Gambia have the resources that it needs to develop itself. Gambia have the resources that it needs to give dignity to its people. What the Gambia lack today, it's the leadership. In the leadership in position to do. Gambia did not lack the leadership as population. Gambia have the highest per capita of people who have accomplished in this world, but it does not reflect into the governance system we have. And that has to change in order for Gambia to be salvaged. We cannot expect to depend on GoFundMe. We cannot expect to depend on charity from donor agencies. We cannot expect to depend on foreign experts. Nobody can do it better than us. We are not saying that we don't need support. We are not saying that we don't need collaboration. What we are saying that we have to have something to put on the table. We have to be able to even absorb those advice. We have to have a system that can utilize the advice into practical forms. It's not the presence of the human, the three experts in the Gambia that can change that country. But there are a lot of issues in this problem. But the main issue is that leadership. It's not lack of resources or anything else. And this is the problem we have in the coordination. And you will see this in every aspect. And the worst part is here today. This government is still trying to play politics with COVID. They're still trying to distract people and trying to build political capital, or thinking that if any Gambian participate to do any good in that country, that person is doing it behind, for ulterior motive, because of that person wants a political capital on it. In order, this is the problems we have now. And as we dealt into the other issues, this fact is going to be exposed. We have, as a small nation, as people who are interconnected than any other country in this earth. And I think then this should have been our strength. This should have been our strength. We should not have been suffering this way. But why are we suffering today is that failure we have the past, decades. But what compounded more is the opportunity we had these last 3 years in order to rectify these mistakes, in order to deliver, but we failed and concentrated on trying to empower an individual, or trying to empower into individuals in political parties forms, or people coming up trying to empower themselves as form of business people, and anything apart from their personal or social entity interests, they don't see the interests of the entire Gambian people. And until we realize this as a problem, Ahmad, we cannot be salvaged by other people. We have to rescue ourselves with cooperation with other people. And this has been proven. What took us out of the 22 years of dictatorship was us coming together, the unity of purpose, and working together, and got ourselves to a level that the other communities, international community, come in and to help us finish what we have achieved, started. The whole issue about the COVID will come to the Nemban. Nemban is a particular example, Ahmad, as you said. We have investigated Nemban due to other reasons. But again, in the case of Nemban, we have seen the evidence that a private sector led, tough, yes, Tough must have done that for whatever reasons, and people have the right to think of whatever. They hold their opinion. But the proof is, Gambians have benefited from the outcome of what Tough have embarked on. Whether Tough did it for his business interests, whether Tough did it for popularity reason, whether Tough did it because of his wholeheartedly believing in Gambia and giving something back to Gambia. Those things are not the most important thing. The most important thing is Gambians will benefit from what Tough have accomplished in Lebanon. You ask yourself then, if an individual Gambian can come up and put in his own money and his expertise to deliver part of what should constitute a relief from the main establishment of the RVETH or Sarakoda Hospital. The Nemban would have served as a treatment center for COVID. And this initiative came from Dr. Ramanyai. And it was Dr. Ramanyai who approached Tough for funding. And this is how it came about. But the rest of the project was to be completed by government. And with all the money that government said they have in their disposal to spend, the government did not spend it there. But actually, UNDP did at that time propose to finance the rest of the project. But the health ministry, I'm not saying the health minister, I am saying the health ministry or the people responsible for the COVID operations disregarded, didn't put priority into completing the treatment center. And this is not an allegation. This is a fact because of now it's still not completed. If Tough could come in and do the reception and other areas in a month, and now promise again, given the project that he can say he's saying that he's going to deliver it in a month, why did the government not finish the treatment center? This is the question we should ask. This is the reason why we did ask for Parliament to come out and make sure these things are delivered. But the failure is they don't give it priority. The priority was that if they concentrate on that, they're not getting something back. Personally, they went to projects that they can design, they can ask for, for kickbacks and make sure they become rich out of the misery and suffering of Gambians. This is a very serious statement to make, but it's a serious of fact. We have seen it until they come out to show us an account, but they cannot, because these things are not something that that goes hidden. It should be an evidence that this is here from the aspect of the failure. And Ahmad, before I move on, because I've talked to many people. I'm talking to different organizations that are into this COVID thing, and we found out that certain individuals within the government, we're still waiting for, because we don't want to just put the allegation, their name out. We are waiting for document evidence or more evidence. They are pressurizing, trying to get certain items procured from particular agencies or particular businesses because they have vested interest in those agencies. Most of the delivery system in the country, what they call the vendors, people that give services to government or to institutions, are vested interest within the government machinery. But not only that, some of these people in the government machinery should be looking after the interests of the Gambian people, trying to look at the best procurement practice, using the best procurement practice in order to purchase for Gambians. That's something sustainable. But what are they doing? No, they are trying to push to companies that would allow them to inflate the invoices, or to companies that would pay them when they introduce a Gambian, introduce any organization to them to procure their services. This is so disheartening. I'll give an example. Now, if you are to buy a test kit, would you not think of a test kit that can be effective? That's the most important thing. One, but a test kit effective in a sense that you not have to rely solely on electricity to deliver it. There are many aspects that you look at, but no, they will tell you that they want their particular thing purchased because they know that in only to purchase that they will get something back. Because most of these companies now,
then can I just make that place clear about this particular test which need electricity supply is called PCR, polymerase chain reaction. Basically, if you have a snippet of DNA, you send these enzymes into the system and multiply them over and over. It takes a while, it is very, very sensitive, but it can also be easily contaminated. But you can go up to the last minute. If the electricity goes, that means it's all damaged. But then we have this RDT, that is rapid detection test, which Senegal actually is one of the first among in the world, not only in Africa, to develop their own rapid development test, because they developed one to test Ebola, to detect Ebola. So they adopted that. When COVID comes, they adopted it. So it's very easy. In fact, at some point, UK want to invest on that. Then rush in and put similar one in front of them. So as you know, these people, they support each other. But Senegal's one is working very well. It's validated, it's working. So this, what you make, is expensive, it is time consuming, and it's also labor intensive. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Ahmed, this is the challenges we have in the country. Literally, people would thought that the pandemic, how serious it is, Gambians would not try to profit from this. Gambians are trying to profit from it. I mean, to get to have something, money from it. Gambians are trying, not Gambians for that matter, but Gambians are working. We know Gambians who are working, trying to use this in order to protect the failed system, to protect the barrow, and to build a political capital on this. That's why they will try to discredit anybody that comes with an alternative. Anybody who stand up to serve or to do anything positive, they will label you because they have seen that as a threat to the popularity of Barrow, or as a threat, or as exposing the government failing. We have to accept that the government have not accepted, but we Gambians know that government have completely failed in their delivery. The government have no strategic plan that can upscale this and so on. Until we accept that fact, we are not fixing this problem. And then we need government to accept this fact and to rely on Gambians and friends of Gambians in order to do it right. And for that to happen, we need the oversight agencies. We need parliament to be active so that government would do the right thing. We need already, as you know, there are a list of Gambian doctors already waiting. All they're waiting for is the government to empower, to give them an enable environment so that they can go and serve the country. But it's not coming up, and you have not seen the agency as it is. And this was not a government initiative. Government did not call out for help from the diaspora with any other form. But Gambian diaspora decided to take the leadership and sacrifice, and now they want to give their service. Thank you, Ahmed.
Thank you very much, Ben. As usual, we value the comments of our viewers. Normally we bring in them, but guys, also, if you feel like commenting, you can call this number +220-943-3419 WhatsApp. Sana Sedi made 4 comments, 1 questions, and I don't know if you want me to read all of them. You go to one by one. Okay,
one by one.
So,
go one by one.
One by one. Okay, first he said, when it get into Senegal, we expect it to get into the Gambia. I think you mentioned something like that. Why does it took so long for people to help us? Okay, it's on the screen now. For people to help us if they really care about our situations. That's from Sana said in UK.
Yeah, and I think the question here is, people, Senegal were dealing with their own problem, and you have to ask for help for people to offer help. This is the reason. That's why it's dumbfounding when the Minister of Finance, External Affairs came out to deny that Gambia have asked for help. This is it. Gambia should have asked for help, not only from Senegal, but I thought by now Cuba would be on hand. I thought by now other countries would have been on hand that have dealt with their situation better. And we should not even look for help from experts to come down. Ahmed, we have a structural problem here. We have capacity problems here. These are all issues that we should look in. And again, these things will not happen when we have seen the failure. The Gambians should notice this failure happen when the health minister came out in parliament and cried out for help. I think the health minister should have resigned then because he have proven that the challenge was too much for him. But he stayed, fine. But then they brought Mr. Alassane Senghor. We all know that he have the expertise and it was the right choice to do. But Mr. Alassane Senghor stayed for less than a month. He decided to resign because of the environment was not right and people were not supportive of government, political will wasn't there. This is the failure. Government should have done the things rightly, but this is the problem. It's not that Senegal was not willing to help. If you didn't ask them, they were dealing with their own problem. I don't think they could have offered help.
Yeah, so I'll put the other three their comments. He said every single person in position of power has failed us, and we have failed ourselves as well. With the way people mix the deadly situation with politics, we continue to remind politicians that our lives of all things remain in their hands.
I cannot say that better. Actually, what he said, that's what I alluded earlier, or I stated, that our biggest problem is leadership. And if I said leadership, I am not talking about Barrow alone. I am talking about the establishment ourselves have failed. The opposition parties have failed. They failing because we are finding out these allegations of corruptions and why it fell. I am interested to find out the report that will come out after COVID to tell us what went wrong. Because of it, the technocrats have failed because they were in charge of the delivery, regardless of the political will. They were in charge of the delivery, and we want to have an explanation. What was the contingency plan? What was the escalation plan? Why Namban was not completed? What led to the decision? I mean to these things. These are issues we want to know. Absolutely, we have failed. That's why it's important to note. The only exception here would be that civil society have stand up and did, exceptionally well. We have seen it during the food relief period. We have seen it during the sensitization period. We have seen it now. The continuing raising funds, helping the Red Cross, helping other institutions, helping the frontline. The civil population civil society have been doing very well. And Ahmed, we should ask ourselves, why do we have most of this problem? Still, the other form of delivery that should have helped the emergency measures, it was not delivered. The relief for our the food aid, you call them, or relief, there's still no stimulus for the businesses. You see, these are all issues. The pandemic response team or coordination or the government have not done it right from the beginning. They have not done it right from the beginning. And from the beginning, we said that they politicizing this, they are corrupt, and we have seen incompetency. From there on, they have not done anything right.
Yeah, thank you very much. There's still some more comments from Sana, but I'll reserve them for to the around the closing remarks, because we have 17 minutes and we still have a lot more to talk about. Ben, Gambians, domestic workers stranded in Lebanon. Again, this is not a new story to you. Most Gambians are warming it up because there are a group of them. And also this lady, which happened to be your niece, decided, you know what, you're going to take the position of the government, or more than the government, to do something about this. And she did. So I think that should send a clear warning or inspiration to Gambia youth. For far too long, they've been baggage handlers for these politicians, the youth movements, the youth wing. Leadership is not about age; it's about time. The youths, step forward and take the example of this Lovett. What he did. Anybody of us can do it. Why would you have to? We've seen the clear the government trying to spin it anyway, but the almost unanimous silence, if not the CA, from the opposition is deafening. So then how can we solve this problem? Because people are going to travel anyway, whatever happened. These 38 are coming home. How are we going to stop this? And also, what else? Who is this Lovett? Because a lot of people love what he's doing, but also, Gambia. There are a lot of people also, with different opinions. So can you please elaborate on this particular?
Thank you very much, Ahmad. Thank you very much, Ahmad. This is a very important topic that cannot be done justice to be spoken for minutes. And I think that you should propose to get a panel. To get a panel and put a panel together and discuss these questions that you raise. About
I'll definitely do that, and I'm going to rely on your help, your expertise as well. Definitely,
okay, we'll do that.
Let's work on it.
But Ahmad, because we haven't got that much time, I just want to tackle certain points or point to certain points here to give the benefit of the viewers, because there's a negative aspect coming out against the young lady. And I want that to explain this thing so that Gambians would have their opinion, but when they have that opinion would be balanced. Let them have the other side of the story and let them understand what might happen here. And some of the people, I'm not saying all of the people, some of the people coming out negative. One is out of ignorance, because they don't know the lady, they don't know what she's been doing, and they don't even understand what is happening right now. The others are not ignorant. They are ignorant, but in a sense, they are selfish. All they're doing is trying to defend a government that have failed its people. Rather than, telling truth to power, they're trying to defend the government. And now for them is to go against a citizen that have been that stood up and did the right thing. And there's a third aspect here of people that went against her. That's what they do. That's what they do. They don't want to see any good in anything people do. They thrive on this negativity because it's popular to be negative. It makes controversial news. It makes programs interesting for some, which lead them to make money out of their programming. These are the aspects we have. But let's look at this in a positive manner. Yes, as disclaimer, as you said, Lovett is my niece. On both sides, actually. And I happen to know the family, and I happen to know Lovett very well. And who is this Lovett? It's a Gambian, raised in in Sweden. And raised in Sweden and UK, actually. She studied in both places. She studied in the UK here. She is a social justice activist and humanitarian, and not specific to Gambia. She have done a lot of projects. And why this project become a controversy? A project that he did in other areas. But she did a project, if people can remember, about the issue of slavery in the Maghreb, in North Africa, by repatriating, helping, and those people being enslaved in the back way. She did all that. She happened to have a charity from, organize herself and runs a charity, an NGO, in order to help humanity. Let me emphasize this, to help humanity, not specific to Gambia. But we all know our empathy goes to people that we know more than even people we don't know. If you can have that much empathy for people you don't know, imagine the amount of empathy you would have for people that you are related to and people that you know. That is the Gambia she has. And because of that empathy, and because of the person, caring person, she have an organization and saw a situation. She did not go out looking for that particular situation. It drops to her on her lap. She picked it up. Now, people, before you judge, and try to empathize first. Why did I say this? I know some people saying that, oh, the way she spoke to government was wrong, or the way she spoke out was wrong. Ahmed, if you do things from the bottom of your heart, because of you are a real person, yes, emotions will come out of it. And it's good for people to show their emotions. Shows that you are real in what you do. If people think that they always come, the person who comes and do a presentation and everything, probably that person is paid to do a presentation. Probably the person is doing all that because he doesn't believe in it. When you believe in something, it might come out in different ways. And things do come, people do develop themselves in many aspects. She is very intelligent, she's very capable and everything. And we have to remember, the people that we champion today, the Muhammad Ali's, the Malcolm X, most of these people started their activism. And the way they presented from the beginning and how they presented as they grow up was completely different. Then if we are empathetic, we are not just looking for faults, we are not looking for something negative on the person. I think the specs that we look at Lovett is just a celebration. Celebration that a youth, celebration a Gambian, celebration a Gambian woman has stood up at that level to try to help and deliver. What she has achieved is tremendous. Just imagine the amount of money involved. How many people, we are talking about people paid to do their job, are taking money, we give them to do the job. This woman managed to raise these funds. She could have used these funds in different ways in order to keep most of it on herself. She could have, have ghost workers. She could have staff. She could have appointed family members as staff and pay them money. We have seen that happen here. In Europe, we have seen, charity workers employ the entire family and pay them salaries. End of the day, no activity, no impact on what they call for. How would we know that she had this money? We never knew she had this money. We never knew she had access to this kind of fund. And Ahmed realized what she have done here. She have not only rescued them by taking them away from Lebanon. When they get back to the Gambia, she have a fund. That fund that would try to help these ladies to keep them away from being tempted or any other need to venture anywhere else they'll be exploited. And this is 38 mothers. Yes, they are women. We call them 38 mothers. If you manage to save or transform the life of 38 women, how many lives have you transformed, Ahmed? Imagine the impact of these women in society. Just imagine the impact of these women in society. Now, if we were looking at this story in this positive angle, I don't think we would have seen any personal, negative in this, rather than to encourage. And even though, if we get to a point that we even notice or feel that something was not done right way, what we should do? Should we come out to try to bring the lady down? Or should we support the lady by trying to contact the lady and put it constructively? Constructively. She is on every social media platform. Why can't we inbox her constructively and say to her, oh, thank you very much for all that you did or all that you're doing, but if you, that, pam, pam, pam. I've not seen anything wrong in what they did. Yes, I wish some of the things would have been done better. And all human beings would always have something that they should have done better. But let's come to the side of her relationship with government. Ahmed, we ask ourselves, why there is that so much? The 38 women are not the only issue to deal with. Why government was not dealing with all these issues? Why does it have to take Lovett taking up a project and the government having a problem with that project? Why did I say that? The failure is a failure of leadership, Ahmad, because the government campaigned on this backway issue. The government campaigned on the backway issue. Government campaigned on Gambian suffering and dignity for Gambians. That's in our manifesto with President Adama Barrow. They leave. Can people tell me one policy? One policy again. You know, I talk about healthcare policy. Now I'm talking about foreign affairs policy, or any policy that would support, or any initiative that would support our backway situation or sorts. We all knew that the European Union have given so much to try to help with this situation. Where is that money? The president of Germany visited Gambia and visited other West African countries because of this issue, the backway issue. Gambia today is almost 3 years. Gambia cannot tell you any tangible outcome from that relationship. Any tangible outcome from that relationship. Ghana have had projects developed, initiative developed on this visit that the German government have done to their country at the same time it did to Gambia. But what happened in the Gambia, they don't even follow up. They don't even follow up their anything. They don't have any policy on the thing. Everything is surrounded about empowering one person, that is President Adama Barrow. Ahmad, the failure here is, what have they done for the cause of Gambian youths or Gambians, in this desperate situation? Ahmad, I'm not talking about the Gambians living in Western Europe, who are residents and others. We are talking about the vulnerable Gambians that left the source of the Gambia because of the lack of hope, that went out there to be something in order to develop their country, to contribute. Ahmad, did this government ever tell you how much is coming out from the back way? The Gambians that took the back way now, residents in Spain and Italy and in Germany. You see, a responsible government could have gathered that data, that information. How can you gather that data and information? Because you have a protocol, you have a mechanism, you have an initiative built in to the system that will improve, that would monitor, that would support, but by the same time monitoring the conditions of these people. And the government can have information based on fact from these indicators. And Gambians would have been supported. But this is a failure of leadership, failure of the External Affairs Ministry. Let's bring it back again to the case of Lovett here. When the young lady, Lovett Jallow, found out the situation, she had the means, she had the connection, she tried. Now, the only reason Lovett prevailed is because of the campaign she took out of it. Because I'm talking from position of strength here, from facts, because we have tried with this government on security reforms. We have tried with government on many initiatives without coming out in the media, to put a campaign out of it. We have held, high-level conference, online conference with this government. People would not know about those things. We have offered our service in many ways. It has never happened. We have developed, initiative and everything in paper and handed to the government. We have done all that. I have been in different groups that have done something trying to support this government from the beginning to try to do something with this. It would not happen. It would not happen. The only reason this thing happened is because of the desperation in Lovett and how Lovett felt, and that emotions and came out and got support from the Gambian people and took that campaign. And do you know why? The reason they didn't want to support the initiative of Lovett, they have seen it as it's going to expose government failing. One of the reasons here, or the facts Gambians should look at, when they started talking about 37.
And then just to interject, because as they say, great minds think alike. Because Lena Njai just wrote, she just exposed the incompetence of the government. Then Elizabeth Cummins also, when she's a lawyer and knows jolly well what she's doing, Northern Gambian do not get it. What Lovett exposes the incompetence of our government officials, you know. And you have who again? Sal Chavis taking the mic. He said the money is gone, Ben. You know, don't cry over spilled milk. Fuller akmel. You know, mohare. So yeah, just that you mentioned the incompetence of the government. I think just
Ahmad, just imagine this. When they started talking about airlifting the whole group, everything was secured. Took a lawyer on the ground and everything. The government is saying that this amount of people cannot be airlifted. What was stopping that? Ahmad, if the government was serious, since we came to power, who are our representatives? The foreign service is filled with nepotism, is filled with people who have no competence, is filled with people that they want to give out jobs. Ahmad, you want to tell me that the people running our foreign services, these are the most competent people that we can find to run our foreign service?
No, they are not. They are not.
We have a retired. We have a retired pensioner in London here. He cannot. He struggles to keep awake.
Yeah.
You see, the entire staff are incompetent of the level they occupy. Not in England, not in America. The consulate. Do you know what these consulates are? The consulates are business facilitator to the corrupt regimes. This consulate, if they were not doing their job, these young ladies would not have found these young ladies. Their issue would have been dealt with. Go to any consulate office and find out, have the foreign office, our foreign service have ever audited consulates to know what job, what value do they give to our service. But they gave them our sovereign seal. These people use our sovereign seal to make business and give kickbacks to government officers. That's what the consulars are. If they were effectively doing their job, Lovett would not have found these 38 girls, and these 38 girls would not have been suffering. Now, let's just even, for argument's sake, say that they have done their job, and these people, 38, happen to be a problem. Ahmad, what is difficult in asking for your officers to release documents that these people have a right to? Why should we negotiate on that? This is something that's your mandate. This is something that's a right to them. Why not just facilitate it? It should not have got to here. This is a matter of an emergency. Have this government rescued Gambians anywhere before?
No.
Have they? No. If Lovett did not rescue these people, you think the government would have done something about it? No. And it's the only policy this government talk about migration is about exploiting our people. We all remember in Saudi Arabia when the tourism minister talked about Gambians signing working contracts for Gambians to go and serve in those countries. This is what he was referring to. They are only interested in the citizens when the citizens are giving them the money. They are not interested in taking that money even to make sure that those citizens are taken care of and their families are taken care of. This is the situation we have. In every aspect of issues, you look at this government is incompetent, the government is being politicized. Today, what I mean, we have here is a failure. And this failure, just as I said, in the healthcare delivery, if the government since they came to power, have put in mechanism, had initiative, have policies and policies that address how to harness the Gambian capital from the diaspora to the Gambia. Imagine the failure of, this week, Demba Njai from Sweden just announced that he's closing his business in the Gambia. Lack of support and enabling environment. Gambian indigenous business are not thriving. Due to what? Because if you come from this diaspora and want to practice an ethical business, you will not survive in the Gambia. If you don't give out bribes, if you're not allowed to inflate projects and stuff like that, you will not. And I know Demba Njai will not take part in this. And I've worked with Demba for some time now. And we have looked at projects in the Gambia together. And we know the frustration. I know the frustration Demba went through in order to improve this, to improve situation in the Gambia. We had an initiative. I worked with Demba. It was to try to get water for the Bakau Health Center. After Demba sending his management team and doing the evaluations and everything, Ahmad, we got stopped because of political reasons that they don't want us to do the project, because if we do the project, the borough guys have to see it as a political capital. Literally, Demba Njai was giving his service free. Demba Njai was giving his service free to the medical district. How many companies would do that for you in the Gambia? You think a foreign company would do that for you in the Gambia? And people don't understand that if Gambian success is the success for the entire Gambia. Because Demba Njai's success or any other Gambian successful, whether inside or outside the Gambia, is a success for the nation. That's the wealth the sovereignty would have. But if foreign, why are we going to Lebanon for domestic this thing? Lebanon have zero minerals more than us. Lebanon have zero capital more than us. Do you know what they have? They have the human resource they utilize it properly. They have give incentive to their diaspora. They have an entire country run by a diaspora initiative. Entire country run by diaspora initiative. That's why Lebanese people are successful outside, because, and again, they are enabled to make sure their profits are transferred into their country. This is this kind of system that we lack in the country. Ahmad, we should celebrate Lovett and not listen to any of these distractors. Any of these distractors. And they cannot stop the young lady. They don't just know, if they know this lady's grandmother, Ahmad, the lady's grandmother is just an example of what Gambian women can do. At the time, the area she operated, she became one of the most influential and strategic women in that country. And that would raise the young lady. And they cannot break the young lady, and we should just empower that young lady and make sure Gambians benefit from the capitals that she have. But Ahmad, thank you very much for that point. But as I said, I think we should do a program on this issue about the migration. The 38 women are not the only ones suffering even in Lebanon. I can tell you probably only 5% of people that goes into domestic work will be successful out of the hundreds of people, thousands of people that do that job outside the country. And Ahmad, if this government or any government in the Gambia have managed that country well, Ahmad, we would not have need to send our citizens to work as domestic servants. What's the difference? What income do they have that makes it worthwhile for someone to go out to do domestic work in semi second world country? What capital? How much would they get paid? With all the constraints that come with it. You think if we could have created jobs that pay well in the Gambia, you think those people would have left that to go to Lebanon? You think if we have, the government was responsible in sensitizing people properly? But the government is responsible. You know that the agents that take these young ladies to these places are registered in the Gambia? They are paying tax in the Gambia, or they are paying fees in the Gambia? And some people are coming out saying that they took themselves there, they shouldn't be government responsibility. Do they know the responsibility of government? Do they understand the responsibilities of government? That's why I said some of them are talking out of ignorance. Others are taking the controversy to make radio programs in order to make money out of it. That's what they do. The other people are doing it because they want to defend the failure of Barrow. But Barrow failure cannot be defended. Gambia is at a crossroad, and we have to, and not only Barrow, the establishment have failed. And Ahmed, finally on that, the other point you raise is what one can achieve, especially young people.
Yeah.
But Ahmed, the only time we can harness this contribution, Love It and the likes of Love It, Fat Giants, and every aspect of development, young people are doing so much. Look at your youth movements, from environment to other issues. But where is the leadership that can harness that contribution? We cannot expect, we cannot have a government, give them all the resources, pay all the tax, and leave them alone to do as they wish, and expect we take our extra funds to do GoFundMe or running around and fix the country. It doesn't work. If we have the right government in place, Ahmed, most of the other things we do, we don't need to do that. We Gambians will start to live a life than rather going on continuous struggle. We want to retire from this. We don't choose to come out. We are not making money out of this. It's stressful. It's taking time away from our families and everything. But it's worth it. It has to be done. And as you said, it's an example. If we stand up together and take up the establishment for that matter, we will bring about change and positive change for that matter. Ahmed.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ben, once again for that energetic and also brilliant presentation and also analysis. We already 11 minutes behind schedule, but I think Ben will forgive us. But I'm going to read the comments. Finally, that will be my closing remark. But before that, I want to challenge all of you. You know, next election in the Gambia is beyond party politics. Gambians have to know this. Our problem is the way we do politics. We complain here about the incompetence of people in our foreign services offices, but most of them are political appointments. These are the sycophants. That political sycophancy and patronage that have to stop if Gambia should progress. The way we do things, we have to dismantle it and do it all over again. You know, I will read from Len and Jai, Albert Mendy, and finally Elizabeth and Sana Sedi. Ben Len and Jai Jang in this government was serious about moving Gambia forward. They will encourage well-policed, highly capable people to go and work for that country. We have so many qualified professors all around the world. That's what exactly I'm talking about. If, you know, politics is all about sycophancy and patronage, which is going to continue, because when they're sitting, they have to compensate those sycophants. They have to compensate them with positions, with lands everywhere. So this is the problem, that we cannot allow politics to go. For once, we have to break that circle. Then we build structures. We establish the way we do politics in our country. It's not about, you know, who is more than anybody, that they everywhere insulting and spin hate and insult. You know, and they've been compensated for it. That have to stop. That's not taking us anywhere. Look at how we retrogress in 3 years. It's just unbelievable. You know, with all the billions you hear since 2016, where are the billions? We cannot even quarantine the positive cases of COVID-19. Could you imagine that? Right now, 1,973 positive COVID-19 cases are living with their families. And they tell them to go and self-isolate pending symptoms. If you have symptoms, you call them. And we discovered last week the 1025 people should call is actually not working in fact. Only last week, after all this while, they discovered that the number
Ahmad,
was not working. Yes.
Ahmad, can I come in there? Thank you.
Yes, so
just imagine if a government cannot establish a phone line to help. You think 3 experts from Senegal can do an impact?
no.
How are you going to? What the expert going to tell you? How are you going to translate that to a policy? How are you going to implement those ideas? If a government cannot even deliver a phone network that would, people can communicate. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's sad. Yeah, very sad. Yeah, I read from Albert Mendy and Elizabeth Cummins, and then we will close. Thank you all for your view anyway, and please share the audios and the video. In fact, it's these platforms in the social media, the Gambians in the diaspora are providing the leadership Gambian need, because this is where they take their cues. You talk about something one, two, next time you see them doing it. But this is what is also exposing the incompetency in our position, because they should be providing that alternative leadership to Barrow. If the coalition, if the opposition are organized, definitely the government will up their game, because they know they are up against people who actually don't care. They're only waiting to go to the election. If they win, then they use the failure of Barrow as their benchmark. That cannot be right. Albert Mendy, the coalition government since 2016, after the people make the change for the new Gambia, then they fell greedy and power hungry. And Elizabeth, towards the end, said she has more integrity. Okay, Sana said they need to bring back our girls. I do not know the ins and out of it, but understand that individuals Gambian have offered to get them home. The government has reportedly knocked back those offers with the promise that they will get them back home. We are unaware of any development to the situation. We call on people to be interested. And I can tell you, Lovett Jallo and our organization succeeded in bringing these girls. I think they are coming back on Wednesday, inshallah. Once again, thank you very much for your viewing and also your brilliant comments. Bubatomon Kibil, thank you very much. Ben, once again, we appreciate your time. We definitely have to work a platform, and I know we go have to get Elizabeth somehow to be part of this platform, and we discuss these things in detail, because we need to find, in fact, there are solutions.
I think, Ahmad, you need to get Elizabeth and Len and Jai on board, because then, the angle of women, we have to hear the women angle here, and we need to hear that. We need to hear that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ahmad.
That's what we got for you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.